President Uhuru Kenyatta has finally nominated 5 people to the National Climate Change Council in line with Section 7 of the Climate Change Act of 2016. The nominees whose names were published on Monday will assume office subject to approval by relevant House departmental committees. This now means that the country will have an authority in place to lead the country's response to global warming. Kenya has also ratified the Paris Agreement, which commits it to limiting global average temperatures at below 2 degrees. Jackson Bambo, the national coordinator of the Kenya Forest Working Group, joins me to explain what implementation of the Climate Change Act means, the importance of having the Climate Council, action plans, and public participation. Many thanks, sir, for joining us. What does this mean for us in effort of Kenya as a country to be on the front row in terms of, fighting global warming?
First of all, this is a big step for this country. First of all, by enacting Climate Change Act of 2016, we are the first in the region. Then secondly, we are moving with speed as a country in establishing the National Climate Change Council. This means that as a country, we will be ahead in terms of fighting climate change. And this council, it is good to correct that there were 4 nominees. One of them is from the private sector, the academia, the marginalized group, and also one from the civil society. These names, first of all, they meet the threshold, the 2/3 gender role threshold. And this means that as a country, this council is well composed and is fully constituted in terms of considering the issues with gender, because first of all, it's women, youth, and people living with disability who are mostly affected by the impacts of climate change. So by including them in the leadership role, where they take a leadership role in terms of making decisions that affect their issues, then it means we are moving in the right direction.
Let's talk about the Paris Agreement. It has been a subject of news coverage in the last few weeks, especially with the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump having, not being so clear on what his policy is, saying could withdraw from that. But we as Kenya are very steadfast on that. How important is our being part of the Paris Agreement, now that we have ratified it?
Okay, by being part of it means we are collectively bargaining for the reduction of greenhouse gases globally, and we are also optimistic that Trump's win will not jeopardize the gains that have been made. We really sympathize with what he had said before during the elections, but we are optimistic that he will not be withdrawing from the Paris Agreement. And as a country, this is a good step, and what it means to us, first of all, is it means good health and job creation in terms of sector-wise, in terms of technology, and also financing to come into this country.
All right. What can we expect finally from this agreement in terms of real value for Kenyans, for example? Because you know that in terms of fighting against global warming, is the big countries are the ones who have the biggest stake. Do they have the will to be part of this as much as the smaller countries like Kenya?
Yes, they have the will, only that it takes long for the real benefits to be realized. But as a country, we are meant to gain big. As a country, the youth, women who are mostly affected, we are meant to gain big. Yeah.
And nationally, how are we doing in terms of
at the national level?
We've in place and all that.
We've been able to establish the National Climate Change Council, and within the council we have 9 members. And now, if the 2 houses, the committees of the houses approve this, yes, then we'll start moving in terms of implementation of the National Climate Change Action Plan, which is already there. We'll also be moving forward with the implementation and harmonization of policies and legislation across the sectors, and this will help us ensure that we are well coordinated as a country in terms of sectoral approaches. And also another thing that will also be of value to us is that this council will administer the Climate Change Fund, which has been established under this act, And this will ensure that funds trickle down to the real people to benefit.
All right.
Yeah.
Many thanks. Jackson Bambo, the National Coordinator, Kenya Forest Working Group, just telling us the importance of having this National Climate Change Council. This is a story we shall continue to keep an eye on for you.